What's up, Phil?
What's up, man? It's good to be back. We're finally seeing each other for a change, huh?
Yeah, it is good to be back.
Well, and everybody can finally see us. I figured that we'd actually get the call in and go on it because I know you're possibly going out of town Saturday and Sunday, so I figured we might as well get the call in now because I know our followers that's been on the page. They've been wondering where we were. I know Jason hit me up the other day. He said, "Where have you guys been?" I said, "Man, we're hard working and working hard."
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
hard
that's right.
working. Ryan's working hard, right?
Yeah,
So, but yeah, man, I definitely wanted to get these picks in and see who you have and discuss the preview for Sunday as the AFC. We finally reached the AFC and NFC championship games. I believe CBS has one, and then Fox has the other one. So, yeah, man, I tell you, exciting times. We're about only 3 days away.
yeah, that's right. 3 days away. Really exciting time in the NFL. I can't wait for the games.
So, hey, before we get started, hey, did you hear? Well, of course, yeah, I have my hat on. I should take that off. Huh? I mean,
Yeah,
that was devastating, for us Ravens fans. I know last week, man, but talk about that game. That was actually a game of defense, if you want to argue, man. I mean, but talk about how Baltimore went down. I never would have guessed Ravens having one of the top offenses in the league all year. And of course, when they got on the hot streak, we thought, hey, okay, well, they're going to at least go in and battle test the Buffalo Bills, which they did. But at the same time, they only put up 3 points. You don't want to make excuses. You don't want to do that. But
yeah.
at the same time, do you blame it on, the wind, the weather factor? I mean, what happened?
Yeah, I mean the weather definitely could have been a factor, but you would think that the weather would have been a positive for the Ravens because obviously the Ravens' game plan is run heavy and the Bills are pass heavy. So you would have thought the weather, the big gusts of winds and the little bit of snow, I believe, that was coming down, you would have thought it would have affected the Bills a little bit more. Of course, it was 3-3 at halftime. I was really surprised in that game. Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals, both of them hitting off the opposite uprights.
Well, you even admitted the GOAT, the greatest kicker of all time. It's bad when they go on commercial break and Tucker's face is, he's
yeah, in disbelief.
he's staring at the goalpost like, what happened? Like, shoot. But no, hey, also before we get into both games this week, I have to tell you, I'm so excited. The lounge, man, I'm here right now. It's almost complete. I know we just had a couple guys working on the light systems today. But man, talk about the lounge getting set up. I can't wait to record with you. We might as well announce everybody next week is the first day that we're in the new set.
Yeah, that's right. It's really exciting. It's been in the works for a while. Over the break, we got all the stuff ordered. We got it set up. And the picture behind you, the lights, the chairs, and
we just hope to deliver now, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So without any more of that talk, we're going to get into Sunday. Ryan, these games, I go and tell you now, man, the way that Josh Allen looked against Baltimore, his stats, what stood out to me, Ryan, was the weather factor. We just talked about that, but the AFC Championship, 640 on CBS. Buffalo, the way Josh Allen played, Ryan, against the Ravens in the wind, factoring in the weather conditions last week, it wasn't pretty in my opinion, but the stats still stood out to me, and the Bills Mafia got the job done, and that's all that really matters. But Josh Allen, he was 23 for 37 with 206 yards and one touchdown, and that gave him a completion percentage of about 62. And then versus Indianapolis 2 weeks ago, wild card weekend, 2 weeks ago, he went for 26 of 35, 324 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you can kind of tell the way that in the divisional round, his stats went down. Should the Bills coaching staff, should they be concerned about that? Or again, are we talking about the weather?
Yeah, I think they have to be a little concerned about it. Like I mentioned, the Bills kind of rely on that passing game. They don't really have that strong of a rushing game. Zach Moss went down in their first playoff game, their backup running back. So now when they do run the ball, they have to rely on Devin Singletary. But for this game on Sunday, I think the Bills are going to have to rely on Josh Allen to make the right reads down the field, call the right plays, make the right adjustments. And I think the Bills are going to have to rely on Stephon Diggs, the wide receiver they got in free agency. He came up in clutch situations, both playoff games, especially in the game this past Sunday against the Ravens. I believe he had 106 yards, and he got the only touchdown the Bills scored in that game. So Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs going to have to come in clutch for the Bills on Sunday.
I'm glad you bring up Stephon Diggs, because that when you question in the factor, okay, how are we going to cover this guy? Because as we know, he led the league in receiving yards overall. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe it was either receiving yards or receptions.
Well, okay, I believe it was yards. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But then you question the fact that Kansas City, I'm trying to ask myself, with their corners on defense, you have Charvarius Ward, Bashad Breeland, I don't know, Rashad Fenton, and who else? Antonio Hamilton, I believe, LaJarius Sneed. I think it was another. I think he's a corner. Bo Pete Keys, I think they call him Keys. But I think, I don't know, man, because you look at what Kansas City did last year. Of course, their star on defense is without a doubt Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah,
so
the Dodger.
Exactly. So, but with him playing strong safety, you're gonna have to have somebody to match up against Diggs on that front, and on the perimeter, that is, on the line of scrimmage. And I don't know. I'm glad you bring up Stephon Diggs, because I don't know if this Kansas City team has enough on defense to potentially stop Diggs, because we just talked about it earlier today when I saw you. The connection between Josh Allen. I'm not saying Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. I'm not saying Stephon Diggs is one of the best wide receivers in the league. But the two combined together, you can make an argument, Ryan, that they're the two most that's the deadliest attack in football. And they're not even number one at their position, in my opinion. Now they're up there, but when you talk about number one wide receiver, number one quarterback in the league, that's a different ball game. But it's weird, right? Because they're not number one at their position, but yet we're sitting back at them, you and I, everybody watching on Sunday, and you're like, oh my God, especially Kansas City fans. Like this has been dynamite all year. Like how do you stop the Allen and Diggs matchup?
Yeah, that is a good point. It seems like Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen have a really special connection, and it seems like they've had it all year long. And I think that is going to the key matchup for this game will be Kansas City's defense against Buffalo's offense. And this Chiefs defense loves to blitz on defense, which is a good thing for the Bills, because Josh Allen all year long has been good against the blitz. So if the Bills are able to control the ball and string out long drives, and of course keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, if he plays, of course he was limited in practice on Wednesday and Thursday. Of course he's still in the concussion protocol, but if he plays and they keep it out of his hands, I think the Bills have a good chance to win this game.
Well, I think that the Chiefs fans, like Old Dominion, that country song for another time. They don't want to hear it. I talked to I guys, shout out to Joe on this one. I talked to Joe. I was texting Joe earlier this week. He's a huge Kansas City fan. He was up there for the Super Bowl and everything. And man, I think that's a song for another time. They don't even want to hear about Mahomes being out. They already don't discredit the backup quarterback for Kansas City, but I think that you can already write this game in the books if Mahomes is ruled out. So I think they're crossing their fingers up there in Missouri right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mahomes will play. Of course, he has to get out of the concussion protocol, but if there's any chance that he can play, he's definitely going to play for that game on Sunday.
So something that stood out to me before we move on to the NFC Championship. I don't know. Ryan. I'll tell you now. You have Buffalo coming away with the win. I have Kansas City. If Mahomes plays, assuming Patrick Mahomes plays, I have Kansas City winning the ball game. I do. I know I told you earlier today I was kind of leaning towards Buffalo. I cannot go against. I can't go, and I'm surprised that you're going against Patrick Mahomes because all year and you're smiling all year we've talked him up so much, but he's lived up to that talk, and now all of a sudden. It's just I don't want to say don't use the word bandwagon, but man, I'll tell you what. No, I can't see. We're talking about a player that's been through ups and downs, no look passes for Pete's sake. No, I just can't see. I can't see Kansas City losing in this game, and I have them winning the AFC crown just by a small margin. I believe Buffalo will be ready. But talk about though. Buffalo's defense against Baltimore. I want to go back to last Sunday again. Buffalo's defense against Baltimore. Holding them to 6. Of course, Baltimore's defense did the job. They did absolutely incredible. If you don't admit that, I don't know which games you were watching. They held Derrick Henry in the wild card round, and then they went in and they only allowed 10 points to Buffalo. If you remember, 17 points was because the other 7, Lamar Jackson threw his first red zone interception of his whole career. It's never happened before, and they ran it for, I guess it was a 101-yard touchdown return. But talk about, this defense. I think that, they did a great job against Baltimore, this Buffalo defense. But, when you talk about Patrick Mahomes defending Tyreek Hill, Kansas City has it, man. Kansas City has it. And I was leaning towards Cleveland. Cleveland did an amazing job playing Kansas City in that game. But I'm leaning towards what people are starting to tell me, and I'm starting to believe it. If Mahomes would have stayed in that game against Cleveland, I think that game would have been over maybe midway through the third quarter. So I think it was, 19-3 when Mahomes went out with that concussion.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I just I was going to credit that Cleveland defense there for a while because they had Patrick Mahomes thrown off. They had him, I don't know how many sacks. I had to go back. I don't know how many sacks they had Cleveland racked up in that first half or when Mahomes was in. But I'll tell you what, man, it's I think this Buffalo defense has their hands full, especially going on the road. Now we talked about that again. Not that it really matters because of the coronavirus. The fact that you can't have the stadiums packed at full capacity, but. Right. Yeah, I just think when you talk about the AFC, I don't think there's any better team right now in the AFC all around on offense. And I think even in the NFC, any defense, NFC or AFC, I don't think they can stop Patrick Mahomes and the offense of what they bring to the table. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah. The Bills will definitely have their hands full on Sunday against Mahomes if he plays. Travis Kelce. Best tight end or second best in the league, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins if he plays. The Chiefs just have so many weapons, so many speedy guys on offense, and the Bills did play good defense against the Ravens, but that pick six interception, the 101-yard return was obviously the turning point in that game. And that's the main reason why the Bills won that game. So I just think that the key for the Bills is just to string out long drives, keep the ball in Mahomes' hands. Easier said than done, but I think that the Bills can do it. I'm gonna pick the Bills in this one.
All right. Well, we heard you. We heard you here first. I think you're wrong, but we'll see when we have our first ever episode in the new lounge coming up next week. So I can't wait to recap both games, and see what happens on Sunday, huh? When you and I are, I actually miss you. I'm looking at across the table and I see nobody sitting in the other chair. So yeah, I can't wait to see you, have you up in the lounge next week so we can be at the round table actually talking about it with Austin shooting our first episode for us.
Yeah, really excited to get back in.
And you talk about also, I'm glad that you said the Buffalo's built, yeah, and that's true. You want to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field as much as you can, but I think that sometimes with the quick scoring that they develop with the Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes connection, yeah, I think that you're right. I mean, they may, if Kansas City loses this game, you can argue the fact that, hey, maybe they scored too quick, because Buffalo, as we see, Buffalo, they have that style of offense that keeps them out on the field, I think, longer. I think Buffalo will win the time of possession. Kansas City now, I don't know, because they have so many explosive plays in the book. They have playmakers. So maybe you're going to see, who is it, Le'Veon Bell? Is he still active? So
Yeah,
maybe you're going to see a lot more touches. I know Clyde Edwards-Helaire was on the injury report this past week. So I don't know what the status is, but yeah, maybe you will see, and especially with them being concerned about Patrick Mahomes, because when you think about it, if they advance to the Super Bowl, they don't want Mahomes getting beat up in this AFC title game. So you might see a lot more running coming from Kansas City than you will Mahomes having the ball in his hands, dropping back to throw it.
yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was limited in practice today, and Le'Veon Bell did not practice. So if the Chiefs don't have Le'Veon Bell, that could be a little disappointing for them, because obviously that's their backup running back, kind of the power back, and Hilaire is kind of the elusive back. So that might hurt them in the red zone. But the Chiefs have so many weapons on offense that I don't really know how much, if Bell is out, I don't know how much it's going to really affect them.
All right, moving on to the NFC title game. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the GOAT. You already know who that is. And Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. We already know what Aaron Rodgers has done this year. He's completely dominated the whole league. He's up for the most valuable player award. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, two of the best quarterbacks of all time meet at Lambeau Field on Sunday to decide who will represent the NFC. One interesting stat that I saw, this is Aaron Rodgers' first championship game in Lambeau Field. I found that hard to believe that.
I know. I was with Dylan last week watching the divisional round of the postseason, and I look back at him like in disbelief. I'm like, did they just say this the first time that Aaron Rodgers has ever played a title game in his own stadium? Dylan said, yeah. He said, yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. So I was like, wow, because as many times as Rodgers has been to the postseason, you would think I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, first time ever hosting a championship game in Lambeau Field. So Tom Brady's first season with his new team, the Bucs, it hasn't gone too bad. The Buccaneers defense stepped up big last Sunday in the win over the Saints, forcing a fumble, getting 2 interceptions. I think the Bucs defense will have to create more turnovers in the game this Sunday if they want a chance to win. And that's why, and that is what they did the first time these two teams met. These two teams met in Week 6, and the Bucs won 38-10. Aaron Rodgers played in what was probably his worst game of the season that week.
A disgrace. Yeah.
I know Aaron Rodgers is going to have this Packers team ready for the rematch in Lambeau Field. And I don't like to pick or bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs, but I'm going to have to go with the Packers in this one.
Yeah, I'm actually agreeing with you on this game. I disagree with you on the AFC Championship, but the NFC title game, I'm going to stick with your choice there, and I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. I mean, what can I say? Aaron Rodgers, I think that a player like Aaron Rodgers, I think you get stronger and you learn more the second time that you see this team or any team that you make a mistake or you laying, as I like to call it, lay an egg. He laid an egg against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the first time they met. So I think Rodgers just, I don't know. You talk about with Devontae Adams. We had a podcast on Devontae Adams being arguably the top wide receiver in football this year. I think, we always talk about, I don't know how the situation is in Dallas with you being a Cowboys fan, but we always talk about back here in Baltimore. We always talk about good defense and running the football in the playoffs to get you a championship. And I think that this Packers team has a lot more weapons, including what Williams.
Jamal Williams, yeah.
Jamal Williams, but of course, you have the all-talented first-string running back. That's Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you can see what he does to you, in real life. You can see what he does to you on Madden. Yeah, I'm going to rub it into you. So you can see, man, and man, when you add great defense, which the Packers have, led by Zadarius Smith, a lot of great men on that defensive line. When you add in great defense and the ability to run the football against your opponent, stop right now. Stop. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be too much for Tampa Bay to handle. I believe the reason that they're going to lose this game, Tampa Bay, that is, because the Buccaneers aren't going to be able to stop the run. They're just not going to be able to.
Yeah, and it seems like for the Packers, when I watch the games, it seems like, we talked about Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams have an even better connection, in my opinion. It just seems like Aaron Rodgers always relies on Devontae Adams to get open and maybe act as a decoy sometimes for the other wide receivers and tight ends to get wide open down the field, like we saw against the Rams when they played the Rams. But it just seems like Devontae Adams, even against Jalen Ramsey, it seems like Adams always finds a way to get open, like wide open, and it just seems like nobody can stop him. So I know he'll be open, and Rodgers is going to rely on him, and hopefully for the Packers defense, for Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, hopefully they can get to Brady, because it seems like Tom Brady, especially in the playoffs against the Saints. I think the Saints only had one sack on Sunday, and that lost to the Bucs. So it's going to be, I think, crucial for the Packers to be able to get to Tom Brady, create pressure, and get him on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, and when you talk about, I mean, I saw that Tom Brady, they said that he has an improbable streak going, that he can keep alive with a playoff win over the Packers. So I don't know, man. I'm trying to think, what was the last time that Tom Brady lost a playoff game? It was against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, last year.
Okay, so yeah, it's weird because before coming on here, I saw where, I don't know where I forgot where I saw it, but I saw where a headline was talking about Tom Brady will completely shock the world if he delivers a title and brings it back to Tampa Bay. How? I mean, how? To me, I don't think the shocker is because he left Green Bay or he left New England. I don't think that's a shocker because he went with another team and, oh my God, he's going to win a Super Bowl. Yes, Bruce Arians has done great with him, coaching him up, and they have a great relationship together. They have a great chemistry. But in the end, man, you sign Antonio Brown late in the season or midway through. But Ryan, I don't understand. I don't know if you understand it, but I'm kind of lost when they say, because if you want to, it's not even hyping up Tom Brady. Tom Brady, I'm going to admit it right now, he's the greatest of all time. He doesn't have to win a Super Bowl this year for that narrative to change. He's the greatest of all time. Period. It's done. It's the end of the story. But I was kind of, I don't know, I'd say shocked, but I was kind of surprised, rather, it's kind of in awe, as to say, as to read that, it's going to be a shock to the world if Brady delivers a Super Bowl title, this year. I would argue that the biggest shock to me is he's gone out of New England. I think that's still the biggest shock to me, I mean, when you have the greatest of all time playing, arguably, I think that you want to retire with the same team. But, of course, as we learned, stuff did not work out between Belichick and Brady. But, yeah, man, I think it's totally not a shocker. You want to call him the greatest of all time, but then you want to sit back and say, oh, my gosh, he's going to shock the world if he delivers a title and brings it back to Tampa Bay. I I would not be shocked one bit. I understand it's elite talent. That's why they call it Championship Sunday. Any of these 4 teams are cut out to win the Super Bowl. They really are. So I mean, when you take it into account, man, if Green Bay loses Sunday, will I be shocked? No. It's Tom Brady. Look at the quarterbacks that you have going into Sunday. You have Tom Brady. He's what, 6-time Super Bowl champion?
Yeah. 6.
Okay. Aaron Rodgers, he's won the Super Bowl before. We know what he can do. Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes. He's coming off a title. The only question mark that's hovering over a person's head right now, and who's, I'm guessing, might feel a lot of pressure heading into this week, is Josh Allen. So, man, look, I think the biggest shocker to me will be if the Bills can pull it off. If they win, I think that would be a shocker. No disrespect to them, Bills Mafia. And by the way, do you see how they celebrate?
Oh,
they
go all out, man.
I was listening to that on the radio headed to work, the other day. And, I'm like, it's a good thing my mom did not have me. It's a good thing that I was not born in Buffalo, Orchard Park, New York. Like, I don't know if I would be, and I'll admit, I don't know if I'm cut out to be jumping on top of folding tables when it's 20-something degrees out with no shirt on. I don't know about you, but I don't think I could do that. Hey, respect to them. I mean, that's, after they donated so much, $500,000 to Lamar Jackson's charity and all.
Yeah.
When do you ever see that? When do you ever see that happen? So how about that, man?
Yeah, and I mean, for the Bills, it's their first championship game since 1993. So they have all of the right intentions to be celebrating however they choose. So
spraying ketchup and mustard in your face, whatever. Yeah, man. Hey, yeah. I'm glad we don't celebrate like that back in Baltimore. I'm sure that you're glad Cowboys fans don't celebrate like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're not going to be catching me jumping off of a truck anytime soon and doing a back or front flip, rather, breaking a folding table. It's just not going to happen.
No, I couldn't see myself doing that either. No.
All right, man. Hey, you take into account the 4 quarterbacks heading into this Sunday. I do. You have what? The Buffalo Bills.
Bills and Packers, yeah.
And Packers. I have Packers and Chiefs. But like I said, I think the biggest surprise, if you want to talk about surprises or upsets, I think the biggest shocker will be if Buffalo makes it to the Super Bowl. And, but getting back to Tom Brady, man, I mean, you want to call him the GOAT? Believe in him. It's time to believe in him. Everybody we see it on TV now, anybody watching this, man, just, even if you're not a fan of Tom Brady, now I know that's tough to persuade somebody when it comes to sports. But, man, look, it's time to believe in the guy. It really is. I mean, what else is there to say?
Yeah, and I mean, if you're not a fan of him, at least respect him because he is probably the greatest of all time. 20 seasons in New England, 6 Super Bowls. I think he's 43 years old, and he still looks like he's almost in his prime. I don't know how he does it, but back to the thing about being shocked that he would win a Super Bowl. I don't understand that at all. I mean, you bring Tom Brady in to win a Super Bowl. That's pretty much all he knows how to do. So Bruce Arians brought him into Tampa Bay to win a Super Bowl, and they're 2 steps away, I guess, 2 games away from doing that. So it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to watch the games.
I'm sure New England fans are going to be watching very closely. I think I'm kind of feeling that it's going to be a split between Patriots fans that are rooting for Tom Brady to get to the Super Bowl and Patriots fans that are rooting for Green Bay this Sunday. But man, look, we're going to get on out of here. The only thing I say that's going for the Buccaneers right now is experience. I mean, you can already say Tampa Bay are the Super Bowl champions if you want to argue experience. I know Aaron Rodgers has been around for a long time. Think about the comebacks that Tom Brady has pulled off in years past. Think about how many championships he's won. Think about how many Super Bowls he's been to.
Yeah.
You have to even consider the ones that he lost in.
Yeah.
Because even though you lost, man, that's experience under your belt. So Josh Allen, there's something to prove. There's something to prove. To me, Mahomes, if you want to be considered right up there with Tom Brady, or if you want to set the mark, we've been talking about it all year, Kansas City. If you want to start making that the all-time team, the all-time decade team in Kansas City, it starts this Sunday, man. And then, of course, with Aaron Rodgers not winning near as many championships as Tom Brady, I think that's what Tampa Bay, I don't know about you, but I think that's what Tampa Bay has going for them right now is experience under center.
Yeah, and the Chiefs are playing in their third straight championship game. I believe all three of them have been at home. And obviously, the first in 2017 or 2018, they got knocked out by the Patriots against Tom Brady. Then the Patriots beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs should have won that game, but came back the next year, beat the 49, beat the I don't know who they beat. They beat the Titans in the championship game.
Who's that?
The Chiefs last year.
It was Tennessee.
Yeah, and then they beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl to win Patrick Mahomes' first Super Bowl. So they get another.
The only reason why I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes, but the only reason why I'm kind of rooting for a Kansas City and a Buccaneers Super Bowl, even though I'm going with Green Bay, because how many times have we seen Tom Brady make great comebacks? And how many times have we seen Patrick Mahomes make great comebacks?
Yeah.
So it's interesting, man, because if you get that Kansas City and Tampa Bay matchup, and because we've seen Kansas City fall down, we've seen them fall behind against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and then against it was actually Deshaun Watson. Remember, they went in. The Texans went in to I think it's still called Arrowhead Stadium, and man, boy, did they give them a scare. I mean, you had Kansas City fans literally on national TV, with their heads down because, but they survived because of Mahomes, the majority of his playing on the field, and they came back. But yeah, man, I tell you what, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. In a way, I want to see Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. I mean, how could you not?
Yeah, I mean, I think any combination of the games would set up for
you're right. Yeah.
So no matter what happens, I think it'll be a great game to watch for sure.
All right, man, I'm going to head on out of here. Ryan, it's been great to finally see it. You're chilling at your house. I'm here in the lounge. So I know Monday we run dress rehearsal. Next Friday, we will be on air. So, hey, make sure you all tune in, guys. And again, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like it. And we appreciate for all y'all's support. And we can't wait. Championship Sunday, Ryan, coming up on CBS and Fox.
That's right. See you.
All right, man. Friday. All right, man. I'm out. Take care.
All right. See ya.
All right. We'll see you next week.
All right.